Make sure my mic and shit is good.
All right. Sorry about that, boys. By the way, Brooks, real quick, before we even get started on anything, good job with all the editing and stuff. You kicked your ass on that, man.
I don't know about that. Trying to.
And it's certainly a hell of a lot better than Brian would be doing based on that performance we just saw.
That is 100% correct.
Well, hopefully it'll get better.
Yeah, I am.
Good enough for now.
We'll figure that side out.
Yeah,
Figure
that
it
can't
out.
be.
All right, let's pull my notes. And then let's get rolling. Man, this weather just makes me want to drink.
Oh, was that a split squad game today? I just got it over. Yeah.
So Stowers and Westberg both went yard against the Braves. I was looking at Rock's Twitter, but I don't know. I haven't looked all through it. Well, this is great.
Don't get back.
So the game they're playing against the Braves, I guess, is like the Braves. It's the Braves' home spring training facility, and they just put a picture of Edgar Allan Poe up for every Orioles player on the scoreboard. I just sent it to you guys. It's just Edgar Allan.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Great.
What kind of name is Orol? Orol? E-R-R-O-L? Orol?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it there. They lost to the Rays and beat the Braves. Yeah, Westberg and Stowers, they are.
All right.
So, Brooksy, does the pie hurt? Like, I guess, how about this? I'll start. Welcome back to the Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture podcast. Mr. Brooks Rothschild got pie the other day. We're gonna have that for you guys to see pretty shortly. Brooks, there's a key lime pie from Dangerously Delicious. Does that pie actually hurt or burn or anything like that?
No, it actually, I was more surprised that I just couldn't breathe. It just like clogged up my nose and mouth and like couldn't breathe in. So I was like,
oh man.
I panicked for a second.
Their name is it's fitting. It was dangerous.
It was dangerous.
It swallowed your face.
Let me here, I'll share my screen here. And we can all take a watch. Well, I guess you can't really hear on your end, so I'll just embed it in
we'll splice it into the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was delicious though. It wasn't salvageable. I don't think anybody wants to eat that after being on my face. So, but the dog's got a nice treat.
I can't believe you left the hat on. That was, and Dusty mentioned that. That was nuts.
It was one of my bad hats that was getting thrown away anyway. I just wore a bunch of stuff that I could just walk straight into the shower with on. I literally got undressed in the shower.
Yeah.
you guys want to start off with some Orioles? We got spring training underway. I watched the entirety of the first game on, I believe it was Saturday. Rushman hit a home run in the first inning, kicking spring off, the way he left last year. Burns looked good, struck out his first couple guys. I think he gave up a base hit and then got the last guy to ground out or something. But he looked good. And then Cowser hits the walk-off at the end. It was as exciting of a spring training game as I've ever watched. But it's just cool seeing the guys back on the field and seeing the younger guys like Cowser, who struggled at the end of last year, really get off to a good start. Positive vibes in spring. Did you guys get to watch any of it?
Yeah, I watched pretty much all of it. I saw Rutschman's home run. He almost had two.
Yeah.
That second at bat, he hit one foul and then he flew out to right, and he just missed the fly out to right too. So looks like he's in mid-season form already. It's pretty cool seeing a lot of the old guys going back there with Roberts and Devereaux and stuff like that too. Looks like they got a good cast of the old characters down there right now.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of it because I was coming back from a wedding, but and shout out to Noelle Kruger and she got married, but we didn't get a chance to watch a lot of it, but it was just awesome hearing. And also they had JJ Hardy on, which was really cool. He's talking about how a lot of old Oriole teammates of his and previous regimes are coming in and kind of taking care of the new players. It's cool.
Yeah, Brian Roberts said something during the game that he good friends with Matt Holliday, so he's known Jackson since he was like one, and then he's basically awesome. And he's the one that's teaching Jackson right now, like transferring over to second base because apparently, Roberts was a shortstop too at UNC and all throughout his life until he got to the bigs. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That's a good teacher if you're transitioning from short to second. I mean, Roberts is a good glove. So far it's been good news on Bradish as well. Knock on wood, knock on every piece of wood you can find. But he threw from 90 feet on Saturday. Everything says he's feeling good. His quote was "No pain, no soreness when I'm throwing at all. Recovery's been good. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty normal." End quote. That's good news. I mean, I'm still kind of holding my breath on him. I still would like to see us add a little bit more depth behind him, but Irvin apparently is throwing as fast as he's ever thrown. He was touching 95, 96 on the gun in spring the other day. So yeah, we're holding our breath on Bradish, but obviously all good news so far, and that's all we can wish for.
Yeah, good start to the spring. I haven't watched any of today's game though, but
yeah, they did a split squad today. Westberg and Stowers both went yard against the Braves. I haven't seen the finals on those. Rock was tweeting. I was reading them up a little bit, but it was hard to find online. Did you guys see a little bit too much of any players this week? Because there was some see-through pants stuff going on in spring training that we need to talk about, I think.
Thankfully, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ugly. I can't believe. So we were talking about this last podcast, but I guess Nike still does have the contract, but whatever they're doing in spring training, it looks super cheap. I mean, you can see straight through the pants, the jerseys. They look so terrible. I can't imagine it's something that's not going to be fixed by the time we are seeing regular season baseball. But
one of the high ups was blaming it on like a labor issue or something. But you know what? I mean, Nike has the NFL contract too. I didn't see any fucking issues there.
Yeah. It's just all the money.
You can't see someone's, dick. The NFL players' pants.
Yeah.
If enough uproar comes from the players, they're inevitably going to change it. They're going to figure something out and go back to the old stuff.
Yeah, this isn't going to last.
Yeah, it's not going to last, but it's a crazy thing that it even happened to begin with, to be honest with you. So another thing we have to maybe mention for the Orioles, the Comcast thing. There's been a lot of stuff the Comcast contract with Masson is going to run out, I guess, at the end of this month. And it seems like Comcast and Masson are struggling to come up with a contract here. And that if that goes into the season, that's going to be a big problem because 90% of my fans in this general area have Xfinity or Comcast. If they can't get Masson, then I don't know. There's going to have to be some alternative provided. If you guys have any information on this,
I have no information on it. Actually, I was kind of surprised to see when he sent it because this is mind-boggling. Also, how in the hell do you have a contract that ends right now before the baseball season? I mean, why not in, November?
Exactly. Yeah. When the season ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling. So I have no information other than just kind of perplexed as to how the hell this actually occurred.
So my understanding is that the language or the argument is not over necessarily money, but it's over where Masson would slot in Comcast's plan. So Comcast wants to offer a plan that you don't get Masson, like their base level. And then if you want to get Masson or other sports packages, other sports channels, then you pay a premium. Masson wants to be on the base level package because they want to reach as many eyeballs as possible. So that's what I'm hearing that the diversion is about, but I don't really know how they're going to figure that out. I mean, and it sucks that they have a month. It's spring training. We need to figure this out. And I have Comcast, so if I can't watch Masson on Comcast, I'm going to switch over to YouTube TV or something else that's going to be a lot cheaper.
And Masson's app is absolute dog shit.
It's terrible. Yeah,
dude, they need to figure this shit out. It's terrible that I have better access than you guys to the Orioles. I mean, I gotta pay for it. I gotta pay for MLB TV, but I mean, I get them no matter what, unless they're playing the Cubs or something out here. Then I gotta watch them on the Cubs network. But.
Yeah, so I mean, the only other alternative I can think of is you'd get the MLB package, which is $200, and then you get a VPN, which is I think $30 for the year, and you'd have to circumvent that way. But it's just such a pain in the ass and so many hoops to jump through. It's something they need to figure out. I saw on Twitter, we were talking about it in our group a little bit. The Diamondbacks just released this D-backs TV. It's literally just dbacks.tv. It's a website you can go on. It's $100 a year. It's $99.99 for the year, and you get to watch every Diamondback game, no matter where you are or what you're doing, from whatever device you can stream it on. So, it's not rocket science. This stuff is available to other baseball fans. The Diamondbacks are not a big market team either. So it
seems like too simple of a fix. I mean,
yeah,
this is the evolution of TV. You're going to have a la carte television. You get to pick the team that you want, and then you get to pay for that team. Just like you want to watch the Golden State Warriors. I mean, it makes way too much sense to just do this. And you're right, Steve. The D-backs are not a big market. Arizona, Baltimore are kind of similar. Why wouldn't we do this? But it all is a money grab. It's a big money grab. Who gets more of the pie? And that's what they want.
Because it makes too much sense, Brian. It makes way too much sense. We can't do that.
Damn it.
We have to be a bunch of idiots.
The only free agent signing we've seen, big news free agent signing. I think Tim Anderson signed a 1-year deal with the Marlins, but that's not, huge news. Bellinger is 3 years, $80 million with the Cubs, but really interested in the way that this is set up. Carlos Correa had a contract set up like this a couple years back with the Twins that he ended up opting out of after a good year, I believe. But so basically it's 3 years, $80 million, but each year there's a player out. So this year it's a 1-year, $30 million contract. And if he's great this year, he can opt out and retest free agency and try to get a bigger contract next year. If he's not so good this year, if he tears his ACL, whatever, he's got $30 million in the bank for next year. And then he's got $20 million in the bank for 2026. So this is
what a great deal.
A lot of leverage really for Cody Bellinger. It's really a great deal for him.
It is.
And look, if he tears it up, he can retest free agency, try to get that 10-year contract nobody wanted to give him this year, next year. If he doesn't, if he tears his ACL and he's out, he's got $80 million and it's guaranteed. So, it's not a lose for him. It sucks for the Cubs.
They must have really wanted him.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that? I think that's It's definitely a contract structure that's very new. It's not something we've seen a lot of in the past.
I think it's something you're going to see more in the future. I mean,
Yep.
it's short contracts are very, very, very beneficial to a player, but you've got to perform. And it's a performance based industry. So I think this is going to be very, very, very common now.
Yep.
Yeah, the teams are giving up a lot of control here, which is, I mean, I thought this would probably piss a lot of their owners off, but I mean, great deal for Bellinger. Love it for him. I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean,
And look,
I
the
can't
guy,
fault him at all. That's go get your
yeah,
money. He's got guaranteed money already worked into it. He can, like you said, can go test the free agent market if he has a ridiculous year. Um, I guess the only thing saving the Cubs here is that it's only 3 years. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to what we talked about, I think maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. Would you rather have this contract as the Cubs or the Angels contract with Anthony Rendon? I'm
Yeah.
taking this contract.
yeah. I think you'd probably take most contracts other than Bobby Bonilla over Anthony Rendon's contract at this point. Yeah. Other than that, baseball wise,
well,
spring's just getting started. We're still getting a lot of news. We have
friend of the
we have a
program,
little, yeah.
had a little
Oh
fantasy
yeah.
football debt repayment that he had to go through.
Yeah, I can't believe he didn't mention that on the pod. I
Got a
wasn't
bone
able
to
to.
pick. Got a bone to pick.
I was watching I wasn't able to be on when we interviewed Timmy, but I was watching it the other night, and I thought for sure that was going to come up because it was something that I had seen that had happened that day. For those of you who haven't seen Tim, who we interviewed on the podcast last week, he lost his fantasy football league, I guess, with other Blue Jays players, and he had to be the bat boy for his first day of spring training, and he had to wear a jersey with his win loss record on the back. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, there's some funny outtakes with him and the umpire talking too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as far as fantasy football punishments go, that's got to be up there with one of the best ones I've seen. I mean, we've seen eat as many waffles as you can at the Waffle House to cut your hours off, but never in a spring training baseball game. That's pretty amazing.
What's the worst fantasy football bet loss you've ever heard of?
For sure, 100%. The worst one I've ever heard of is you have to sign up and take the SATs.
Yeah, that's probably the worst I've heard too.
That would be awful. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember taking the SATs, but it takes fucking forever. You have to do a lot of cursive writing, which is terrible.
Mine was and I didn't lose, but in the league I was in, it was you had to get a spray tan.
Oh my God.
And you're getting it in January, when your league ends.
And make sure it's the darkest shade you can get.
Yeah. You gotta make sure it looks as bad as possible. It looks like you just dove into second base on a clay.
Do you have orange, please? I'll take the orangest one that you have.
Yeah.
Do we think the Orioles need to sign a bat at all or no?
I think it would be cool. I think like a utility guy, but I don't know, man. We have so many young guys that need opportunities. I just don't know what we're gonna do. Like, we can trade a couple of our younger guys to upgrade. But I think really they're gonna go into the season with on the offensive side. I think they're gonna go into the season kind of with what they have, and then take the first half of the year and kind of see like what's going on, what players are performing, what players aren't, and what kind of market there is for a potential upgrade. But I think if we're going to add before the season, I would imagine it's all going to be pitching, whether that be bullpen or starting. Do you guys see that otherwise or other way, or what do you think?
Thanks,
Go ahead, Brian. I'm looking up free agents still available.
Gotcha. What I think in regards to like our position players, there's a lot of team cohesion, and these guys all came up together, and I think they respect the living shit out of each other from what I can just watch. And I think that will be what really brings the Orioles back to prominence. Even though we won the AL East last year, the team cohesion. It just feels like almost like a family. And so I think if we do anything, we're not going to go sign a bat. We're going to sign him.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and I was thinking about this the other day, I think we were talking. I don't know how Greinke got brought up. Oh, when we were interviewing Mesa, Greinke's still a free agent and doesn't look like he wants to retire. I mean, that could be an innings eater. I just don't know how much money he wants.
He needs to pick up 7 miles of velocity.
He's throwing like 87 right now.
He needs something like I'm going to be a little off on this because I'm not 100% sure, but I was looking at it on Baseball Reference a few weeks ago. He needs something like 35 strikeouts to get to 3,000 or get to 2,500, something like that.
Yeah.
There's some number that he's very close to, career accomplishment wise, that it's either 2,500 or 3,000 strikeouts that he's very close to. I'm assuming he's going to come back and try to get that.
What's the big strikeout number? Is that what's the milestone? Is that 3,000 strikeouts?
3,000 was historically the big number, but now with the way that the game is played and with the pitchers don't throw nearly as much as they used to, I think it's not going to be that number anymore. I mean, that's going to be like to get there. I mean, Verlander has got like 240 wins, and he's been dominant for the better part of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough to get the 300 wins or 3,000 strikeouts or any of those old school numbers that we think
looks
of.
Looks like he had a 5 ERA last year too.
Yeah. But he's throwing room temperature. He's throwing 80 miles an hour.
Hey, man, it worked for Jamie Moyer for however long. I mean,
playing for the Royals. But yeah, it just looks like JD Martinez just turned down an offer from somebody. Jordan Montgomery's still available. Blake Snell still available. Matt Chapman is still available.
Matt Chapman would be the play I think the Orioles would make.
Michael Taylor.
They don't have the room.
The thing about Chapman is that he's going to be looking for like a big money deal because he still hasn't really gotten that huge contract. I think he got a good amount of money, I'm sure, from the Blue Jays on this last deal, but I don't think he's gotten that big contract he's been looking at there. Really, he's not as good a player as he used to be. He was pretty decent last year, and he had a rough year the year before, but he's one of the best defensive third basemen in the league for sure. And at absolute worst, you're getting a absolute stud third baseman defensively, and an average to above average hitter, kind of depending on the month. So, I mean, he's going to get signed. I don't know if it'll be us, especially with just our logjam of infielders. But
I want him just for the mustache. I mean, phenomenal mustache.
Just a little clarification here. Greinke has 2,979 career strikeouts. He needs 21 for 3,000. You get 3,000 strikeouts this day and age, you're punching your ticket to Cooperstown right away. I think he's going to be trying to get that. What's up, Tucker?
What's up, dude?
Oh, is Tuck in there?
We're gonna guest.
Oh yeah, old man.
We got a special guest.
What's
up, dude?
Hey, buddy.
All right, well, so I'm going to throw it out there now while we're still on the baseball topic. I'm going to throw the baseball trivia out there today. There are 4 active pitchers with 200 wins. Can you name them?
Or how many?
Well, I think I got 3 of them. I think.
You can soak one.
Say the question again.
There are 4 pitchers active with 200 wins. Can you name?
Yeah.
And there is by the way, after 200, there is a massive drop off.
Yeah. I mean, I can go in for sure. We just mentioned Verlander. I think he's got like 240. He's up there.
Burley is 257.
I would imagine Greinke, if you're counting him as active, is on there.
25.
The next name that comes to mind, who's been dominant for a really long time, it's got to be Scherzer.
Yeah, I was gonna say Scherzer.
214. Dawson's killing it right now. He's hit all 314.
I don't have a name for number 4. I have a thought in my head, but I don't think he's been playing long enough.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Yankees case here. I don't know.
I'm thinking about DeGrom.
I don't know if DeGrom has pitched enough. Let's
he's
I'm
been
going to soak on it. You've hit
like
the top 3. You've hit the top 3. The the fourth one
Harder.
is a name you will definitely know, and you'll be pissed off if you don't get it.
Okay. Oh, Clayton Kershaw.
And this trivia is over.
Wow, I just completely forgot about the guy who's been pitching for 15 years and has like a 2.5 ERA.
210 for Mr. Clayton Kershaw.
That's crazy. I bet you the next highest is probably Garrett Cole with like 130 wins or something like that.
Dusty, I played the lotto today, buddy, because he has 125 wins.
No, really? Hell yeah. That's all. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
Garrett Cole, I think, is number 5. I believe when I looked up the trivia question, he is number 5 and he has 125 wins.
yeah,
That just tells you exactly where the game is going.
yeah.
You ever think you'll see a bullpen guy get 150 to 200 wins because of the way the game is used now?
Maybe. I think there was a guy on the Rays last year that had like 12 wins out of the bullpen. Actually, Bauman on the Orioles was at one point like 10-1.
He was vulturing wins a lot last year.
Yeah, he was taking everybody's wins. I don't know if we'll see. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen for the Devil Rays. It seems like because they do all kinds of weird shit with their bullpen. I don't know.
Such a weird question to even ask because we never thought about it, baseball this way.
Yeah, we're not conditioned to watch baseball that way, but it's just the evolution of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it happening. You gotta have a long time. Like you have to be really good for a long time in middle relief, and you gotta and I feel like you gotta have a lot of luck.
Yeah. When I was researching the trivia question for last week, closers, I was actually surprised I didn't see a couple different names on there, and I was looking at Dennis Eckersley's number, and I mean, people forget that he was a starter for so long, but I think that guy has like 200 and some wins and like 200 and some saves. I mean, what a ridiculous career he had. Smoltz did the same thing.
Oh, Smoltz.
Just bananas. Yeah. Their careers are absolutely like, I would say unique, but they both did the same thing basically, but nobody else has ever had a career like that. It's really crazy. If you look at those numbers and you dive deep into them.
When I think about it, I mean, who would I want to face? Would I want to face Smoltz or Eckersley? And I'd probably want to face Smoltz. Because Eck came, I think it didn't Eck at some point go down to the side.
He was very goofy reliever, sidearm kind of switching arm angles towards the end of his career, I believe. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played competitive baseball in a really long time, but I definitely remember not enjoying hitting off of the guys who threw sidearm and underhand if they knew where it was going, because it's definitely a lot different and it's a lot harder to see out of the hand.
Well, Brooksie, I don't know if you played that much. I don't know if you hit at all. I really don't. But I always like seeing the same release point. When you can see the same release point, the release point, the release point, the release point, that was so important because you can then begin to read and act and step in the bucket. When you have a guy who then comes sidearm or submarine, that really would throw you off as a hitter. And Dusty, I know you hit and hit well.
Yeah, I mean, something that you needed to see a couple. You needed to see a couple pitches to like get some bearings about you.
Did any of the guys at Millersville throw sidearm or underhand, Brooks?
Yeah, one of our best reliever. He was. I mean, I guess he was technically 3/4, but he was closer to sidearm Zipko. He was really good and threw from that weird release point, but he was like right here. He wasn't like down here.
He wasn't all the way down. Yeah.
I don't think Walter Bishop was there for a year or two, but he didn't really pitch very much. He was a lefty sidearm submarine guy, and then we had a lefty submarine guy at Mount St. Mary's. A lefty and a righty, actually, submarine guy at Mount St. Mary's.
I think a lot of smaller guys, when they begin to lose velo from the over top, they begin to go 3/4 or go sub. I know I'm going to use Chris Merrick as a reference again because we've talked about this. When he went to St. Louis University, he started losing velo from over top, and so he would start coming underneath, and he would just, he said he picked up some domination.
Actually, Guthridge, when he started pitching at Hofstra, he was a sidearm.
I forgot about him. He was my favorite baseball player I ever watched. That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Shout out Jeff Guthridge.
That's-
Moving on, let's do a little bit of football. Salary cap went up a lot more than people expected, about $10 million more. The Ravens were projected to have around 3 or 4 million. Now it looks like they're probably going to have more like 12 million in cap space for the offseason. We do have obviously some glaring free agents, Queen and Matabike, I would say, being definitely the top two on the list, and they're going to be making in Queen's case probably somewhere around 15 to 18 million a year. Matabike is going to be somewhere around 20 a year based on the market for dominant interior pass rushers. The good news for the Ravens is they do want to sign these guys long term. I know that $12 million number sounds scary, but if we need to pay Matabike $20 million a year, we can just basically give him his roster bonus up front and give him his $20 million this year that way, and then extend the money down the line. The salary cap is, for all intents and purposes, I mean, it's very easily manipulated. So I'm most in the camp that we need to sign Matabike as quickly as possible when it's available. What do you guys think? Do you see anything that jumps out at you?
Brooksy.
Zeitler.
Yeah.
Either we're gonna have to pay a little bit more for him because he's older and he's been good for a while, or we need to figure out where we're gonna go with that position. We need to make a decision with that.
He's number one. He's number one. Zeitler is number one without a doubt. You have to get that because the way we run our offense, you have to get Zeitler. And then second would probably be Matabike. J.K. Dobbins is a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards, I hate to say it, great player, dime a dozen. OBJ, worthless.
Yeah, OBJ's not coming back. We know that for sure.
And then Patrick Queen, and really, because of how Roquan Smith runs the defense and is kind of like a glorified defensive coordinator, if Patrick Queen is that close to Roquan Smith, they're going to sign him. They're going to find a way to get.
Yeah. I don't know. It's we have 1, 2, 3. We have 7 draft picks. We're missing our 6th rounder, but we got an extra 7 from the Jets. Really, we need to, with your guys' point to Zeitler, we really need to stabilize the entire offensive line. Stanley's going to be gone soon. If he's not going to be gone, this year, I mean, that would be crazy. But I mean, crazier things have happened in the NFL. But Morgan Moses is older. We really need to get younger and deeper on the offensive line. I think that's our most glaring issue. If you look at our long-term potential, short-term, obviously we need a running back. Keaton Mitchell's coming off, a major injury, and we have Dobbins and Edwards probably hitting free agency. Every team in the league needs a corner. But yeah, I think offensive line is definitely a huge glaring need. And we got draft picks and we draft well. So, hopefully we'll be able to find those guys for a little bit cheaper. And Zeitler, I think it's going to cost a lot of money. I just don't know. You guys think that we really need to go after him, or can we get younger?
I don't know. And maybe someone can look this up real quick, but how old is Zeitler? Like, if he's aged, if he's 34, I think he might be 32, 33. But that means
Zeitler, he was born in 1990. He is
he's
33, turning 34 in March.
So, I mean,
turning 34 in a couple weeks.
He's looking at probably a 2-year deal. And if you want to look at a 2-year deal, that's what, 35 million, called that ish.
I would say for a guy, he plays guard, he doesn't play tackle. I would say 20 to 30 million probably for a 2-year deal. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I don't know. Brooks, do you have any thoughts?
No, I mean, same as you guys. Like I said, we need to figure out Zeitler, or we need to figure out what we're doing with that position. Yeah. Matabike, I think, is a huge one. I'm not sure what we're gonna do there. I mean, we'll probably try to get him.
They're gonna tag him. They're going to tag.
And
Yeah,
Geno
I think the next
Stone,
week or two is the tag window, so we'll find out soon.
Geno
They're
Stone is a big one too. I think whether we're gonna, because he's had one good year now.
Yeah,
So I mean, is he
he's
had a great year by all means.
100%, and he played a lot. He got a lot of playing time because Marcus Williams couldn't stay on the field. Yeah,
Mhm.
so we definitely need depth at safety because Williams hasn't stayed on the field. Hamilton's still young. But Brian, what were you about to say? Sorry, I cut you off.
100%. You're all good, man. I mean, I think our safety is also basically a dime a dozen. Um, I mean, Geno Stone, we cut him like 3 times, I think, and he keeps coming
Yeah,
back. Now all of a sudden he's going to get paid. I don't know.
yeah,
It,
yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I, I want Zeitler and I want Matabike back. And
yeah,
with Patrick Queen, once again, doing the Roquan Smith thing, see how that plays out. Or that, I mean, okay.
yeah. I would love to see Clowney back. He was great for us last year, but it's hard to say because
He's gonna have to
he
take a
hasn't been
discount.
that great for. Yeah, it's hard to say if he's gonna. He kind of took a discount for us last year. We got him for I think $3 million. I don't think he's gonna get any less than at least $5, $6, $7 million. So we're gonna have to. I don't know if we'll be able to get him back, but he's also getting older.
It seemed like he liked it here, though. He
Yeah,
almost
he said
said he
everything
feels
everything I
like
heard. Sorry.
yeah, okay. He seems like a Justin Houston. I was aging out, but just enjoys the environment. What it
Yeah.
seemed. I could be completely wrong, but
I mean, that would be awesome if he
I
wanted to take a discount.
I completely agree. It seemed like everything I heard was like he just kind of felt like a fresh start was good for him in Baltimore, and like the environment really gave him a new appreciation for the game and made him feel like he wanted to play the game again. So
and
maybe he will take a discount and come back because he enjoyed the locker room and everything like that. But we'll see. I don't blame him for going to get money. He's kind of been that way his whole career. So
and Malik Harrison is a friend of the Chaucer, the bar that we run, and Malik Harris said that he is one of the nicest human beings he's ever met.
That's great news to hear. We hope that Jadavion Clowney stays in Baltimore for all those reasons. Malik Harrison, Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State guy, yeah, man.
Let's go. I know our 4th string inside linebacker's position. College. I don't know why I know that, but I do. Speaking of college football video games coming back this year. I don't know if you guys.
What's this about, man? Talk to me. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
So basically, college football, there hasn't been any college video games for a long time. They've been trying to figure out how they're going to pay the players, how everything's going to work. With the new landscape of college football, players getting paid, athletes getting NIL deals and stuff like that. I think they were able to figure something out. So basically what's going on now is that all of the FCS schools, so all of the Division I teams, every player on those rosters will have an opportunity to appear in the game. They're going to get $600 plus in like as like a royalty fee. And then plus they're going to get a copy of the game, which is, $60. They can say yes, they can say no. I think obviously certain players are going to be getting a lot more money than $600. But I mean, look, if you're, like the 3rd string linebacker on the Terps or something like that, why would you not say, hey, yeah, I'll take $600 in a free video game? Why not? I mean, but like guys like Caleb Williams are guys who are bringing a lot of money into the game and bringing, people, they're going to be selling copies of the game. I'm sure that they're going to have to, they're going to have to negotiate a little bit more. Brooks, do you know anything about this?
no, I just saw they're all getting $600 whoever opts in. That's the only thing I've really seen. And I'm interested to see if there's going to be some kind of like these players will hold out or whatever. I don't know what's going to be happening. They're going to have to pay some players more than others or something.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of holdouts, and hopefully it's not. I mean, it's inevitably it's going to be some of the guys from the bigger schools. Some of the biggest names are probably just going to be QB number 2, instead of Caleb Williams or whoever.
If you're Arch Manning, you're not going for $600.
No, no. Arch Manning, what is he going to do, by the way? He's not starting because Ewers is coming back, right?
Ewers come back, and I'm stunned that he didn't go in the transfer portal. But apparently, he is just so enamored with Steve. I can't say his name.
Sarkisian.
I can never say the name. I gotta say it slow.
Well, he redshirted last year.
I mean, well, he was the backup quarterback in the college.
He played. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you don't play enough games, you still get to use a red shirt.
Really?
That's a new rule that I'm not super familiar with. So he did get a red shirt year out of it then.
I thought so.
That's true. Well, even if he didn't, I mean, whatever. If he has to sit one more year behind yours, he's gonna probably tear it up in his junior year. And
I thought he was third string.
Get drafted. I mean, he might have been.
He goes back to that lineage thing we've been talking about a couple times.
Yeah.
He just respects 100%. The game and wants to be there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Eric Bieniemy.
Yes. So I want to talk about.
What a demotion. Doesn't it seem like such a demotion? Like 2 years ago, this was the hottest name for head coaching job in the league, and really for a long time. And now he's taking the offensive coordinator job at UCLA. I mean, I don't. What's going on?
I thought you got the assistant head coach
something that we're not aware of. Has to be.
Yeah.
What
were you saying, Brooks?
Did I read this wrong? I thought I saw that he took the assistant head coach job there.
So it's assistant head coach, but / offensive coordinator. If you're a coordinator, you're generally considered an assistant head coach.
Especially in college football where you run the spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems like a demotion, and it seems like there's something wrong. Like, did he fuck up somewhere that we're not aware of or not hearing about?
Yeah.
I mean, he might have had a job back with the Chiefs if he really wanted it, and said, "Screw it."
I wouldn't go back if I were him.
In general, players. It seems like he's kind of hard on players, which not a lot of players are receptive of these days. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, this guy has obviously got a lot working in his favor, and it seems like he's not using it, or it's not working out for him. I don't know. It's really bizarre to me. I think he'll be back in the NFL, I'm sure, but it just seems like instead of his career was going like this, and then it just kind of started going like this pretty quickly. And I don't really know what else to infer about that. But
I mean, yeah, after all that stuff came out at the beginning of the year about him coaching too hard and being too hard on the players and all this bullshit, you knew that he wasn't going to be there for the head coaching game. For the Commanders. But nobody's taking? Why isn't anybody taking a shot on this guy? The guy knows ball, obviously. So I'm not seeing.
There's got to be something going on. I mean, there's some retread guys who are getting picked up, and he is not even a retread, and no one wants to deal with him. There's got to be something else. Now, I know there was some backlash or whatever the hell happened in Colorado. I guess he was a coach of Colorado for a while, or maybe when he was a player at Colorado. There was something that went on there, but there's got to be something. I mean, he's an offensive mind, and if Andy Reid's giving you praise, usually that plays a lot in the NFL. And so there's got to be something else going on that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
We'll find out eventually.
Yeah. Bengals informed T. Higgins today, actually, this was confirmed that he will be playing under the franchise tag this year. For him, that is $21.8 million this year. You guys think T. Higgins is good enough to play for $22 million? No, big thumbs down for Brian.
Nope.
Wasn't healthy a lot last year. Was pretty good. Not pretty. I mean, he was very good 2 years ago, and he was an emerging star. I just don't know. They got the Burrow extension kicking in soon, and they got to pay Chase, I think, next year. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be next year, the year after, at the very latest, that they have to pay Chase. I just don't know if he's going to be there long term. I think this is a 1 year, like, hey, we're going to go all in for them. And I don't know. I mean, our division, as Ravens fans, I mean, the AFC North is as good as competitive as it's ever been.
He is Ike Hilliard. He is the backup man to every single fucking first receiver. Yeah. I mean, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, those are number ones. He is an Ike Hilliard. He is a secondary man. and I'm not knocking him because he's a phenomenal player, but damn it, you're not getting 21.8. You kidding me?
Yeah, that's a lot of money for him. I mean, it's not that far off from what we paid Odell this year, and I think he had less than 50 catches. So
Yeah, he had like 45 catches. I mean, that's
yeah,
that's like 7 or 8% of your cap.
yeah,
21.8 million. It might be even 10% of your cap. I don't know.
yeah. The cap number is 256 for this year.
Okay.
So it's it's a little less than 10% of your cap, but that's not an insignificant amount of money for your number 2 wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, and you got to pay Jamar. And then I'm
Yeah.
sure there are other offensive players that they got to pay, that are only offensive line. So,
Mixon's got to be
no chance.
Yeah. A lot of money. A lot of money for a guy who seems like, top end number 2 doesn't seem like he's a number 1.
Yeah.
Real quick, we can go over golf. This tournament this weekend was just about the worst golf tournament. It was terrible. There was almost no intrigue. The guy on Sunday who was leading, Jake Knapp, who I'd never heard of before this tournament, was winning by 4. His 4-shot lead evaporated in like the first 5 holes, and then he just kind of grinded it out to win. I did watch a good amount of the first couple days. I had a top 20 parlay that was looking really good until it wasn't. And then but it sucks. Seeing this is the byproduct of the split of the top competition in golf. I mean, you're gonna get tournament. You're obviously gonna get tournaments like this, even with everyone together when there's not as many top players playing. But I mean, the last 2 years before the Mexico Open, John Rahm and Tony Finau finished 1-2 and 1-2 the 2 years previous, and they were the only 2 guys in it. But at least you had 2 guys. You had a real horse. You had 2 real horses racing, trying to throw haymakers. This year, I think Finau came in and he didn't even play very good, and he still.
I was going to say he played it, and I thought.
Yeah, he played, but look, with Rahm gone, I mean, it's just Finau is going to carry this whole tournament. I mean, he's not that big of a name.
You think Rob Manfred is just so happy that golf has gone to the shitter? He's just like, Jay Monahan looks like a douche, and I don't look that bad anymore. I mean, golf is an absolute, peril, totally peril right now.
Yeah, Manfred's like, yeah, I'm not the worst anymore.
Yeah, it's brutal. I wanted to mention real quick, Ovechkin.
Well, before we go,
he went on a little hot streak.
Before we move on from golf, we got Fat Perez.
Yeah,
we got Fat Perez in the qualifier this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, we do. Fat Perez. I wore my merch. Let's go, FP. Actually, he shouted out Rum Point on Instagram, which is about 5 minutes down the road from where I am right now. Yeah. Great course.
They're playing at the Q at Myrtle Beach, 16-player field, 18-hole shootout on March 4th. So what's that next?
That's that is Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
Okay,
about a week from today.
Hey, we're on a golf topic. Do you think the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management Open, will be a destination now that they're going to dominate, for lack of a better term, calm it down?
I don't think. I think for the next couple of years, for sure, because it's still got the value. I think I'm the biggest golf fan of the 3 of us, but you guys are all basically, you know what you're talking about. I think we know that it's going to get calmed down a little bit, but I don't think the general public or the 90% of the people that are going to just party, I don't think they'll know all of that. And they're still going to go and party. I mean, they can try to calm it down all they want, but this tournament has gotten to the point where it's not going to be, they're going to have to go real strict to calm this shit down.
Yeah.
It's more going to be if players, if all the good players stop going.
Yeah, I think that would be the biggest issue, is if the players threaten to stop going unless they calm down, then that you would see some real difference, some real changes. But I don't think, at least in the next couple of years, I don't think it's changing all that much.
Golf is in such a shit state. It is so bad.
It sucks.
Yeah,
We talk
and-
about it every week for a couple minutes, and it sucks. It still
And
sucks every week. It
and you
sucks.
know what? If Billy Horschel's the one that's going to try to ride that train and say I'm not coming, then that's not going to move the needle.
Yeah, no, Billy. I love Billy Horschel, but he's
Billy
not moving the
Horschel-
needle.
Billy Ho, everything could be perfect and he'd still be pissed off at something. So
You can't say Billy Ho when you're saying white man can't jump. I mean, come on.
Billy Ho.
All right.
All right, let's go to
Ovechkin. I just wanted to mention Ovechkin. He started off the season. I think he needed like 70 goals. He started off the season with 8 goals in his first 43 games, the worst stretch of his career by a mile. And then he just absolutely went on a tear last 2 weeks. Scored 8 goals in 8 games. He's still like 50 some behind Gretzky, but wanted to shout him out. We haven't talked much hockey on this podcast. The Caps made a little bit of a resurgence. They're 6 points back of the last wild card spot now, which, you know, the earlier in the year, they were kind of towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference. So they're trying to make a push, but Ovechkin is definitely picking up some steam. Have you guys watched any hockey this year?
I watched about 10 games. Went to 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I also went to a Hershey Bears game. Shout out to the Hershey Bears. But yeah, I mean, they're slow. They're old and slow. They're, I think, the 3rd oldest team in the league.
Yeah,
they're slow. Yeah, I agree. I mean, same thing. I've watched a handful of games, and it's same thing what Roger says. We are definitely noticeably slow, and it's going to get worse in the playoffs if we make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be all these young teams just skating around us.
Yeah, and I saw something too recently that Ovechkin at the end of this contract, I think it's over after the 2025 season, he's retiring.
Sorry.
I mean, Ovechkin is just such a good person. Knowing Mike Green, former defenseman, he's such a good person. And I believe his mom still lives with him, by the way. Well, like, I don't know, like the 4th floor or whatever apartment complex is. But
lives in /Evans.
Yeah. But he's such a good ambassador for hockey. Such a good ambassador for hockey that seeing him go away is going to be tough. It's going to be like watching Cal or Jeter go away.
Yeah.
Same with Sidney Crosby. Even though we don't like the Penguins, I respect Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, it was like when Brady was done, and Brady announced his retirement a few times, but when he was done, like, and we had to get through last season to actually believe that he was gone. But it's weird. I mean, it's just like, I've been watching Tom Brady for 22 years. I've been watching Ovechkin since I started watching hockey. You know what I mean? So it is going to be really weird watching the Caps without Ovechkin. It's 100%. I agree. Everything you said there.
I almost feel bad for hockey fans that are like diehard Caps guys or Caps women. You know, the team is basically tanking just so Ovi can get the goal record.
Yeah.
Really and Ted Leontis almost admitted it without saying.
Yeah.
They're going to limp along until he gets it, and then they'll blow it up.
Yeah.
I mean, as Backstrom played a game this season, he's probably going to retire. He doesn't seem like he can stay on the ice at all.
Yeah, he's been hurt a lot the last couple of years.
Is he the one taking the mental health, like the mental health time off or whatever it is?
I think he did. He did do that. I don't know if he's still doing that or not. But yeah, he hasn't been on the ice a ton the last couple of years.
All roads lead to retirement for him, I think.
Yeah, enough depressing hockey. We can talk about. Hey, we got a little bit of life out of the Terps. We beat Rutgers. We were at home. So we were on the road. We were at Rutgers. We won a road game in the Big Ten. We've got 3 regular season games left. Of those 3 games, all of those teams have worse records than us going in. So these are 3 games that we can win. We win these 3 games. We have 18. we will go to the Big Ten tournament and lose the first game and still be out of the tournament.
We'll lose 2 of the 3. I will put money on it.
We're gonna lose to Northwestern and IU and beat Penn State to end the year, and then it's gonna suck.
I mean, at this point, who gives a shit? They're gonna have to run the table and win the Big Ten tournament to get into the.
Does Michigan make a tournament this year?
No. Oh, Michigan State.
I don't know, but
Michigan State,
if they do make the tournament, they'll be in the Elite Eight. I know that about Tom Izzo. I don't care how good the team is. I know for sure that they won't be in the Elite Eight if they're in the tournament. Big news though for the Terps. I didn't even write this on the rundown. We got Derek Queen. We didn't even talk about this.
The number
Derek
5.
Queen, we could have led the pod. Yeah, top 10 recruit. He's a Baltimore kid. He's going to one of those all basketball schools. I think it's called Montverde or something like that. I think Tracy McGrady's kid actually plays on the same team. But yeah, he's playing for one of these basketball schools in Florida or something. And he's a Baltimore kid. He's coming home. Hopefully we'll get him for more than 1 year. But
let's hope so. Let's hope so. I mean, that's a big, step in the right direction.
Big if in college sports. Yeah.
And that's hopefully
in the right direction.
I mean, did he sign his letter of intent yet? Because let's wait till he gets on campus and starts playing some games.
Yeah, I mean, he tweeted a picture of himself in a Terps jersey, so that's good news. But yeah, you're right. It's he hasn't signed the letter of intent yet. So
until Duke comes along and offers him a couple $1 million.
I wanted to bring this up. I want to bring this up really fast. Court storming. Let's go.
Yeah, I think they should just get rid of it.
How are they gonna stop
it? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I guess extra security, or just tell students, hey, and everybody in the stands, hey, if you run on the court, we're gonna find you out the ass. You're never allowed to come back here. That kind of thing. Scare people.
Yeah.
I think
it's got to be some parents here real quick, guys.
Oh. What's
on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
What do you think about court storming?
Is that when people run on the court?
Yeah.
We talk about some,
Cool.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for bringing a lot to the podcast.
Bringing the energy.
I would storm a court.
I don't know how they stop it.
After the Caitlin Clark stuff and after the stuff that happened this week, I don't know. I think at some point they're going to try to get rid of it. But it's something that used to be really awesome because it's so used to happen so infrequently. But I guess I don't know if it was social media or whatever. I remember being in the crowd when I was at Maryland. We beat NC State, who was like number 14 in the country, and we stormed the court. And I was like sitting in the student section watching everyone storm the court. Like, we just beat number 14. It's not like we beat Duke and they're undefeated, or you know what I mean? I feel like it used to mean something, and now it's just they're kind of storming the court whenever they want, and people are getting hurt. I mean, that's going to be 100%. That'll be the end.
I think
of
you're right with the
Somebody
social media
actually gets
aspect
really
of it. It's can you see me now kind of deal, and that's ridiculous. And you're hurting people. Yeah, and not that I like Duke, not that I love Caitlin Clark. I don't know who this flip kid is, but
yeah,
you can't be hurting people whose career is based on not being injured.
Yeah,
and that's ridiculous. And like John Shire said, by the way, John Shire, phenomenal coach. He addressed this so well. He said, don't take anything away from Wake Forest. But when we used to get beat, when I was at Duke, they would give us 10 seconds before they stormed the court. Now they just want to look.
Yeah, give him a second to get clear.
Yeah,
and get into the tunnel.
Yeah.
But John Shire, I was so impressed with John Shire as a person, not a coach, based on how he handled the situation.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he did a good job. He's still got an incredibly punchable face, and I hate him. But yeah, him and Kyle Singler and Nolan Smith used to just tear us to shreds. Fucking all kinds of Plumleys, just Plumleys coming from the left and the right. I hate them so much. I can't stand them.
Only people in the kids.
Yeah. You guys got anything else you want to add to the podcast today, or we?
Yep. The only other thing I got is if you guys are watching this, send us some questions. We got a guy that works for the PGA Tour coming on next week that we're gonna pepper him with some questions on like just the Live PGA deal, the state of today's game, today's golf, and everything in between. So if there's questions that you want answered, shoot us some either tweet us or shoot us a message or something like that so we can get add it to our list of questions. So
yeah, actually following that interview, the following week will be Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill, which is an elevated event, and then the week after that is the Players, and then we're right into the swing of golf season. So if you want us to ask any questions to him based on those events or anything like that, or if you have just general feedback for the podcast, we'd love to hear it. Is the audio shitty? Are the episodes too long? Are we ranting on certain things too much? Yeah, we'll take all the criticism we can get and use it as much as we can.
Trust me, we want the criticism. We want to be badgered.
Yes.
Badger.
Mushroom.
All
right.
And with that, we've run out to talk about.
Go FP.
Go FP.
Booze, good and boogie.
Love you guys. Be good.
See you same time, same place next week.